Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sports Business Networks. And this is part of our speaker series. And we have a great guest on the show today, Bruce Libman. Bruce is not only a good friend who I've known for 25 plus years, but he's been one of the most influential networkers that I know. And networking in different terms, some will call it business development. I like to call it networking. Bruce is one of the experts in this. He's done a great job. He kids around and says that his real job is Match.com, where he puts people together. But welcome to the show, Bruce Libman.
Oh, David, it's a pleasure to be here. It's so good to see you. Okay. And so good to see the commitment that you've always had a commitment, but this focus that you've got right now, I think is going to be absolutely outstanding. It's
Well, I
wonderful.
appreciate it. Our goal is to bring athletes, current athletes and former athletes together. And one of the things that we want them to be able to do is network, develop business amongst each other. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because a lot of people, they get into networking settings and they can join networking groups, or they'll join industry associations and things like that. But when they get in, they're not sure how to network. What would be
Mhm.
one of the first things you would tell someone what they need to do in order to be a successful networker?
I really believe the success leans on the humanity of people. It's really about connecting on the human side of people. It's not about selling. It's not about elevator speeches. It's not about any of those things. It's about building a relationship with people and a likability and trust. And when those things are in place, business will eventually start to come. Don't look for the silver bullet that's going to happen that quickly, because, again, people want to develop long-term relationships. To be successful in networking is really about touching the human side of people and really listening, asking open-ended questions. You're going to smile at this, David, when I say it's like doing discovery with people. I mean, don't you want to hear people's stories? Don't you want to hear how they got to where they are today? I think I look at my life on a scale of just a lot of mini series, because we all go through these mini series in life to
Sure.
get where our true passion really lies. So I think this networking thing, there's a method to this. That's what I try to teach. And I think it's more important to be touching the human side of people and really understanding what your value proposition is and where you should be networking, because you're not for everybody and everybody's not for you. And you should be connecting in groups or organizations that are on the same wavelength as you. All right. It's kind of foolish many times to be in a room where 90% of the room is not in your space. All
Sure.
right. I think it's important to really do a lot of education before you do this, and learn that you're going to spend a lot of time, effort, finance, money. All right. Time is money. So we have to be very strategic in the way we do this. And once you learn that you really don't have to sell yourself, just open yourself up and allow yourself to meet people. It's an amazing thing, especially today with social media and all the connections that people are connected to so many individuals. All right. That you may think that this person doesn't know anybody that could possibly assist you. I think you're going to have a wide screen and realize that we're connected to so many high-end professionals. We can help people. All right. And you can help them. So it really, again, gets down not to try to be repetitive. It's to the relationship that you build.
Well, Bruce, you've been doing the on the networking side. I mean, you've been networking your entire life, as long as
Mhm.
I've known you. I mean,
Right.
we go back to 1991, I think,
That's
is when we
right.
first met.
That's
And
right.
Bruce and I were together originally. I sat on the same board with Bruce for National Network of Accountants, and that was a group that Bruce had helped form. And they went through a name change. I guess you went through the name change around 2010. went
Yeah.
from National Network of Accountants to the Accountant Resource Group, which I thought was a smart move because you weren't just networking with accountants, you were networking with anyone who could help the accounting industry. So bankers, lawyers, trust attorneys, you name it, real estate people, anybody that could service the accounting profession that's what the Accountant Resource Group was all about. Now, in the last year or so with COVID, you guys had a pivot because the ARG group that you had started, you're in 7 different states now. ARG was really an in-person networking group.
Well, my COO, Lisa Rosenthal, she should take on all the responsibility for that because, the last thing I knew, I didn't even know I know how to spell Zoom. All right. And, it's so funny because she was always talking to me about this. And I was an in-person guy. I like to be out there. And we realized in March of 20 that we're going to hit a brick wall here. And what are we going to do? So we went to 100% Zoom. We put together several meetings a month for all our members. I went one-on-one with our members on Zoom. And I think what we did, which was the most important thing, was during the midst of this, not only the individuals, but the high-end professionals were certainly panicked. All right. What are we going to do now? We can't be out there. How are we going to bring people inside the door? How are we going to continue to do business? And the model that I built over the years, all right, wound up to be the best model that they could have, because the first thing I said to them was, stop right now. And again, David's going to smile at this. I want you to turn around and I want you to take your 10 best clients and your 10 most approachable clients, and I want you to get on the phone with them, text them, email them. How are you? Is everything okay? Do you need anything? All right. Just be there for them. Be top of mind with these people. All right. One of the issues that professionals have is that, sure, we're out there networking with strangers, but we're not networking with our own clients. All right. Our clients are connected to so many people. And when a client has experienced the value that you've delivered to them, all right, they won't keep you a secret. All right. So again, I decided we've got to get on the human side of this as quickly as possible. Stop selling. There's no reason to sell anybody anything. Be a solution provider in the midst of the worst pandemic that we've ever lived in our lifetime.
Well, you used the words before that people want to do business with people they trust and like. And, just giving that piece of advice right there is going out and being a human being to people, create someone that people trust and like. And they'll remember you for that text or that phone call where you were just checking in and you weren't there to sell them something. You were just checking in to see how they were doing. I mean,
and theoretically, David, you were networking.
Absolutely.
Theoretically, okay. But you just said it. These clients that you've had, you become top of mind with them. They turn around and say, how could, Dave be in touch with me? All right. There's so much going on, yet I became top of mind with him. You'll maintain your base. And I think that's the most important thing to do, is maintaining your base. And, it'll grow from there. But in the midst of this pandemic, all right, we need to maintain our base. That's what we needed to do. And that's with, here I'm working with a couple of hundred professionals. All right, that's what we've grown to in all these states. And it's about just projecting this feeling that I have inside of me. All right, that's the most important thing you could do right now. Maintain your base, network with your clients who will not allow you to stay a secret. But as you know, with high-end professionals, all right, they know their skill set extremely well, all right, but communication is not their key ingredient, all right. The accounting firm is always the reactive firm, not the proactive firm. The lawyer is the transaction person, Okay, and puts the file away. And I said, you're going to have to open up your files now. You're going to have to do this. All right, because you're going to lose your clients. They're panicking. Okay, and they're in trouble. You expressed to me, I mean, the loved ones that we've lost. All right, if these people are in trouble, you shouldn't allow them to go to strangers or go to people who could unfortunately take advantage of them when there's weakness out there. You've got to be that person who becomes their advocate. Advocacy is the most important thing you should have with your clients. And understanding that you've got to be the quarterback of your client. You need something, you come to me. Don't go to strangers. Don't worry about anything else. I have a whole network of people behind me that I can trust, that I can make sure any problem you've got will be solved the right way. And I think that when you build that type of bridge with people and you start to inject it inside your own feeling about things, all right, I think many of our people have changed their perspective on how to really network. All right.
Sure.
And, it's how many people do you need to have? Something I believe in our program, you build a network inside this network. You build a baker's dozen high-end professionals that you could all work with. There's more business than people could ever imagine. All right. But
Well,
again,
if you were given advice right now, and let's say it's one of our recent college graduates, they're an athlete, they've been an athlete their entire life, they just finished their college career, they get their first job, and they join Sports Business Networks, what do they do? What should they be doing right off the bat to get themselves out there?
I think the best thing you could do is to meet people. The best thing you could do is engage with people about them. What's it all about them? All right. 80% of the conversation should be about that other person. All right. You'll get your opportunity to speak. All right. But, especially when you're talking to college athletes who are competitive people, all right, there's a nature inside of them to be competitive. All right. The word no won't disturb them. They'll just overcome that because they can overcome that. They can overcome anything. Okay. I think it's, again, open up, have open body language with people, and don't be afraid to communicate and say, I start every conversation with a new person that I meet because, we only work by referral. So if you're not referred to our organization, we really don't engage you. So the first thing I do when somebody introduces me to Dave, and Dave says to me, I've heard so much about you and so much of your organization, tell me about you. And I always turn around and say, it's not about me. I really like to learn as much as I can about you. How did you get to where you are today? I'm really interested. People love to talk about themselves.
Sure.
Let them
Well,
talk.
I think that's important too, is especially for our younger members, is understanding what's your why. You hear that all the time. What's your why? What gets you up out of bed? What drives you? What pushes you? And I think one of the most important things is when you are dealing with people to let them know what your why is.
Where's your passion?
Absolutely, your passion.
People love to hear your passion, your fire. All right. That's part of that competitiveness that's inside of you. What is your passion? What do you love? All right. And I think it's, those are good questions to ask other people. Tell me about what you love the most. People always look at me and say, you don't even know me. I want to know you. I like to know, when you tell me what you love, what your passion is in life, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, could we work together? Because maybe we can't work together. Maybe we're just not right to connect. But when I know this for what I've learned. Good people know good people, and lousy people know lousy people, and they don't sit at the same dinner table. So when you're being introduced to quality people from other quality people, it's really the open salvo. It's a pleasure to meet you because David introduced us. I'd love to hear your story. Tell me about your passion in life. And, it's emotional. And as you know, David, People make decisions emotionally and justify it logically. So if you don't get somebody really going emotionally, you're never going to really get inside to start that really relationship and that networking side of the brain. All right. You got to do that because you got to charge somebody up. And just think about athletes who are charged up before they play. They get pumped up. They're ready. They've educated themselves. They looked at tapes. They know what their opponent is. They know what their job is that day. But because you are a great athlete, your blood pressure is up here and you're smoked and you're ready to go. This is the same thing. Get yourself ready. Get yourself smoked up and ready to go. And if you're not having a good day, don't go. Take the day off.
Yeah,
Let
'cause it'll
people
come
see you
across.
in your best light. Let people see you in your best light. Okay. And I think that just, again, it charges people up emotionally. And I think that's the person you want to be around.
And, I've heard this, Bruce. I've heard from different people. Some of the people who really maybe they're uncomfortable with networking. Maybe they are a little bit more introspective. They're not an extrovert. They're an introvert. And where they said, "Well, networking doesn't work in my career." Have you heard that?
Yes. And I think that you're looking at a person who's an introvert. Okay. I'll go to a wedding and I'll be in the corner waiting to give the envelope so I can get out of here right by the exit. I am not, I'm, unless I'm on like I am right now and I'm really emotionally connected. Okay. Not only because of our relationship over the years, but I love to talk about my passion. All right. I'm really quiet. I'm just over there. I'm a wallflower. All right. Don't let that stop you because it's not about you. Allow yourself to become an actor. You've got a role to play, and your role is to network and build your business. So open yourself up. And that's why asking open ended questions to people and getting them to talk. All right. You're the receiver. So you're not talking, you're listening. And introverts love to listen because they're reactionary. All right. So I'll react to somebody's story and I'll turn around and say, that was really interesting. What you just expressed to me. Can you elaborate more on that to me? I'd love to hear more about that nonprofit you're connected to. I'd love to hear that. All right. And people, again, love to talk. So again, you're asking questions, they're answering questions, and yet you're an introvert because you're not taking over the conversation.
So even an introvert could be good at networking.
Absolutely, because you're asking open-ended questions and you're reacting to their actions. All right. And the people that you're talking to really appreciate, whether you believe it or not, that they're speaking to you about this because, some of the stories that they'll tell you, their spouses don't even know this stuff many times. Their closest friends don't. They're just opening themselves up. And as you peel the onion, you're finding your space. They don't know that though, because you're being very strategic about the questions you're asking. All right. That's what we always used to call discovery.
Sure.
The more we do
Discovery, and just so everyone knows, coming from the financial consulting background, discovery is where you are discovering everything you need to know about a client.
That's right.
And learning what makes them tick. And the beautiful thing is that as a former Merrill Lynch representative and when you focused on people's goals and objectives and what made them tick, it was so much easier to do business with them rather than just trying to sell them something.
Didn't you realize as we used to do that work, all right, the likability started and the trust started. So how are you going to be able to build a client base from zero? I remember, David, from zero, all right, and very successfully too, all right, because again, you were building that relationship. And then what did they do with that relationship? They talked about David to 6 other people and to 7 other people. And those people engaged David. And guess what? 6 other people from here. So we were networking then,
Sure.
but there was no real method to it, except the fact that we wanted to be touching people, because if we touched them on the human side and we got them emotionally engaged with our discovery, we had a client for life.
Right.
And that's what you're looking for, a strategic partner for life and clients for life.
One of the things too, especially with athletes, is athletes have always been part of a team.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You could be a golfer, but you're still part of the team. You could be a swimmer where you swim in an individual race, but you're still part of the team. And one of the things that networking does is it allows you to build an external team of advisors and people that you could go to for your clients or whoever need be when the time is right. And that's just another form of networking.
Yeah, that's why I said a few minutes ago, my belief system is you build a network inside this network of 200 professionals. All right. You don't need to know 200 people. You get a baker's dozen professionals around you. All right. And you're really building a network inside here of people that you can trust, people you can rely on. Millions of dollars gets done in business in our organization, David. I cannot tell you what the numbers are, but we've got a 5% or less attrition to this organization after 25 years. People don't leave. And some of these people know you, David, very well. All right. And they're still with us. All right. So it's something must be going on. That's right. Otherwise they wouldn't stay. All right. And I think it's about learning. All right. That these are long-term life relationships. All right. Life is so short as it is. All right. We have the ability now, especially now, to be able to build our own network. All right. And, you expressed the fact that, even a golfer is on a team. That's true. And one of the greatest challenges is to be accountable to yourself as an entrepreneur. Okay. I have to be accountable to me. I'm building a team around me, but did I have a good day today? Or did I work out today? Did I connect with enough people today? All right. So it's always about the plan. You have a networking plan and you actually look at this plan and you focus on it. Because again, I'll make David smile again. People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan.
Sure.
You should plan your networking too. Where am I going to go? Who am I going to meet? What does my week look like this week? All right. You got to go week to week, becomes month to month, becomes year to year. All right. So you don't start off Monday saying, where am I going to go today? No. You've got a plan.
Sure.
And people today, here it is, October, should be planning for 22. What's my plans for 22? Where am I going to be networking? Who am I going to be connected to? Who do I stay connected to? So to me, there's a method to this. And I think it's vital that you learn this method. And that pipeline will never be empty.
What's amazing about it is, when you and I first met and we were working together, we made it our goal where you had to try to see a minimum of 6 to 10 new people every single week.
Mhm.
And that's networking.
That's
That's
right.
getting yourself out there. That's introducing yourself to new people and letting them learn what it is that you do.
What is your value proposition? It was about learning not to sell anybody. It was learning the fact that people will buy. Believe me, people will buy. They'll buy from the right person that they like and trust. So it takes time. It's not about selling. It's about having the patience to realize that you understand your value proposition. It's unique. You have a unique value proposition that differentiates you in the marketplace from your competition. And if that's the case, then that can't stay a secret. All right. So we always know we're in touch with people that we like. We're in touch with people that we've known over the years. All right. Don't be shy about reconnecting to people that you've known for so many years that really don't realize what you're doing today.
Sure.
All right. And you've had this relationship. Why not rekindle those relationships? All right. We don't want to look in a phone book for a person's name. Those things don't happen anymore. All right. Now it's about realizing, especially through social media, how many people you're really connected to. Now, here's you and I haven't seen each other in so long. All right. But when Dave reaches out to me and says, something, I'd love to connect with you so we could discuss networking, I couldn't react any quicker because of my relationship with you, how I've always felt about you. So this is about our relationship together. All right. People don't have to see each other for a long period of time, but there's a likability there that doesn't
There's
go
still
away in that
connection.
relationship.
There's still a
Yeah,
connection always.
absolutely.
Well, listen, Bruce, this has been awesome. I really appreciate it. Last thing I'm going to give you is the question that we give all our guests. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever gotten, and who gave it to you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, we love it.
That's a good question. I will tell you that I look at my life today, looking back on it. I've had the distinct pleasure of meeting really great people in my life. I've been blessed with that. All right. I would think the greatest advice that was given to me when I was 16 years old and I left high school. And I went into my guidance counselor to tell him I was leaving. And he said to me, okay, he says, just, I want you to know one thing before you walk out the door. I said, what's that? He says, you're a better person than you think you are. And that stayed with me all these years because I didn't think I was a very nice person.
Well, what's interesting is next week I'm doing a presentation on mental health and sports. And one of the things is, getting kids to understand that, all of us as human beings, you and I, we've all had bad days. And guess what? We've all gotten through those bad days. As bad as those days may have seemed, when might have been you felt the world was collapsing around you, you survived and you got through because there were better times ahead.
And I think it's vital for us to understand that we've got to love ourselves. We go through periods in life where we question ourselves a lot. Okay. And I think it's important for us to understand how much we admire ourselves and love ourselves too, and our family. And that comes out when you're communicating with people, because it's not all about us. It's all about us. It's not all about me. It's about us. What can we do together?
Sure. Well, listen, you're one of the best networkers I know. I think the two things that you and I both bring to the table is we're both great connectors. We're never afraid to refer someone or reach out to someone or put great people together. And that's what networking is all about.
That's
So
right.
hopefully everyone, you've learned some great stuff today from Bruce Libman. Bruce has been doing this for a long time. He's the CEO and founder of the Accountant Resource Group, which now they're in 7 states. So Bruce, continued good luck in your journeys. I'm sure you and I will spend more time together like we always do, but thanks for having me on the show today.
I look forward, David, and I wish you and what your goal and objective is here. I know it's going to be successful. And if there's anything that we can do to support you, don't ever hesitate to call on us, because we'll always be there for Dave Katowski.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it.
Stay well.